it's Jessi. Today I'm drinking elderberry wine tea from Adagio Teas. If you've been watch all my videos, you've seen this tea before because I'm batch recording today because I look cute and I should take advantage of that. Anyway, today I'm here with some, I guess, anticipated releases for 2021. I don't tend to read books as soon as they come out, partially because I read a lot of books from the library, so they might not have them, and also partially because if I wanted to buy, I just don't keep up with new releases that much, don't tend to actually read them. So this isn't like books I'm planning on reading as they come out, it's more just books I've seen people talking about, saw a post about, something like that, and it got me interested, so I'm telling you about them. I don't know, whatever. It's more akin to like books and la-las, or somebody else did an anticipated releases video that was like this kind of style. Anyway, so let's just get to it. These are in chronological order, and so I will include the cover, the release date, and a little blurb on the screen while I talk through them. So the first one on my list is Remote Control by Nnedi Okorafor. This is kind of a sci-fantasy. I think it leans more sci-fi than fantasy, and it's coming out in January of 2021. The day Fatima forgot her name, death paid a visit. From here on in, she would be known as Sankofa, a name that meant nothing to anyone but her, the only tie to her family and her past. Her touch is death, and with a glance a town can fall, and she walks, alone, except for her fox companion, searching for the object that comes from the sky and gave itself to her when the meteors fell and when she was yet unchanged, searching for answers. But is there a greater purpose for Sankofa now that death is her constant companion? I don't know. This one just sounds super cool about a girl that's the companion, the daughter of death. She has a fox companion. I'm here for foxes. Sounds really cool. Next, The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. I actually thought this one had already come out, but listening to other people talk, I guess it got delayed because 2020 has been 2020. So this one is now, it's a fantasy that is now coming out in 2021. It's young adult. It's about 16-year-old Deka, I'm gonna say Deka, I don't know how to pronounce her name. 16-year-old Deka lives in fear and anticipation of the blood ceremony that will determine whether she will become a member of her village. Already different from everyone else because of her unnatural intuition, Deka prays for red blood so she can finally feel like she belongs. But on the day of the ceremony, her blood runs gold, the color of impurity, and Deka knows she will face a consequence worse than death. Then a mysterious woman comes to her with a choice: stay in the village and submit to her fate, or leave to fight for the emperor and in an army of girls just like her. They are called Alaki, near immortals with rare gifts, and they are the only ones who can stop the empire's greatest threat. Knowing the dangers that lie ahead, yet yearning for acceptance, Deka decides to lead the only life she's ever known. But as she journeys to the capital to train for the biggest battle of her life, she will discover that the great walled city holds many surprises. Nothing and no one are quite what they seem to be, not even Deka herself. I mean, it just sounds great. I really want to read more African-inspired fantasy. I've liked what I have read so far. So that's kind of what drew me to it, but also I'm so here for an army of girls, like so here for that. Next, The Bone Maker by Sarah Beth Durst. This is an adult fantasy coming out in March of 2021. 25 years ago, 5 heroes risked their lives to defeat the Bone Maker Eklor, a corrupt magician who created an inhuman army using animal bones. But victory came at a tragic price. Only 4 of the heroes survived. Since then, Kreia, the group's leader, has exiled herself to a remote tower and devoted herself to one purpose: resurrecting her dead husband. But such a task requires both the cache of human bones and a sacrifice. For each day he lives, she will live one less. She'd rather live 1 year with her husband than 100 without him, but using human bones for magic is illegal in Voss. The dead are burned, as are any bone workers who violate the law. Yet Kreia knows where she can find the bones she needs, the battlefield where her husband and countless others lost their lives. But defying the laws of the land exposes a terrible possibility. Maybe the dead don't rest in peace after all. 5 warriors, one broken, one gone soft, one pursuing a simple life, one stuck in the past, and one who should be dead. Their story should have been finished, but evil doesn't stop just because someone once said the end. I love failed heroes or past heroes that are tragic and they're making amends. And I love stories where like the good guys didn't actually win, so sometime later there are new heroes or the old heroes are coming back. I haven't read a lot of books like that, but I really love that, and that's the vibe I'm getting from this, is heroes that maybe succeeded but not quite the way they wanted, and now they have to come back together. I love that. That Way Lies Madness, edited by Dahlia Adler. This is a YA anthology of Shakespearean retellings that comes out in March of 2021. There aren't any authors that I've already read on this list, but some that I'm really excited for: Tochi Onyebuchi, Anna Marie McLemore, to name a couple. Honestly, I added this because of Kayla. She's made me really want to read these Dahlia Adler short story collections. The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan Hay. This is a YA sci-fi that comes out in 2021. She's the author of Descendant of the Crane, which I really enjoyed, so I want to see more from her. And I'll leave a link in the description to a Twitter thread she has about Descendant of the Crane, because at least if that's still going on, that's a bit of an issue. Anyway, C awoke on an abandoned island 3 years ago. With no idea of how she was marooned, she only has a rickety house, an old android, and a single memory. She has a sister, and C needs to find her. STEM prodigy Casey wants escape from the science and home she once trusted. The metropolis, Earth's last unpolluted place, is meant to be sanctuary for those committed to planetary protection, but it's populated by people willing to do anything for refuge, even lie. Now she'll have to decide if she's ready to use science to help humanity, even though it failed the people who mattered most. I'm hesitant on this one, I gotta be honest, because like, it feels like it's gonna go down the path of sci-fi that I don't like, which is like, science is actually bad. Ooh, spooky science things. But I'm hoping not, and I'm hoping it's as good as it sounds. The Chosen and the Beautiful by Nebo. This is a Great Gatsby retelling coming out in June of 2021. Jordan Baker grows up in the most rarefied circles of 1920s American society. She has money, education, a killer golf handicap, and invitations to some of the most exclusive parties of the jazz age. She's also queer, Asian, adopted, and treated as an exotic attraction by her peers, while the most important doors remain closed to her. But the world is full of wonders, infernal pacts and dazzling illusions, lost ghosts and elemental mysteries, and all paper is fire, and Jordan can burn the cut paper heart out of a man. She just has to learn how. Alright, I kind of hated reading Great Gatsby in high school. I thought it was terrible, but Jordan was obviously the best part of that book. And like 1920s and magic is something that I've really wanted to see since I read Houdini's wife, Mrs. Houdini, earlier this year. So I have some high hopes for this one. The World Gives Way by Marissa Levian. I'm not entirely sure what genre or age group to put this one in, but I think it's like literary fiction, maybe dystopia, but it's coming in June of 2021. In 50 years, Myra will be free. Until then, she's a contract worker. Ever since she was 5, her life and labor have belonged to the highest bidder on her contract: butchers, launderers, and now the powerful, secretive Carlyles. But when one night finds the Carlyles dead, Myra is suddenly free a lot sooner than she anticipated, and at a cost she never could have imagined. Burdened with the Carlyles' orphan daughter and the terrible secrets they died to escape, she runs. With time running out, Myra must come face to face with the truth about her world and embrace what's left before it's too late. I don't really know what's drawing me to this one. It doesn't really have anything I think I would like. It's about organized crime, I think. But there's something about it. I don't know, maybe it's like the female-female relationship vibes I'm getting from this, whether it's romantic or just friendship. I don't know, but I'm really excited for it. I couldn't tell you why. For the Wolf by Hannah F. Whitten. This is a YA fairy tale retelling that's coming out in June of 2021. As the only second daughter born in centuries, Red has one purpose: to be sacrificed to the wolf in the wood in the hope that he'll return the world's captured gods. Red is almost relieved to go. Plagued by a dangerous power she can't control, at least she knows that in the Wilderwood she can't hurt those she loves again. But the legends lie. The wolf is a man, not a monster. Her magic is a calling, not a curse, and if she doesn't learn how to use it, the monsters the gods have become will swallow the Wilderwood and her world whole. Okay, 2 things drawing me to this. I really love Red Riding Hood retellings, which is what I think this is. Like, more than any other fairy tale, Red Riding Hood retellings are my favorite, which is weird because like Red Riding Hood is not nearly my favorite fairy tale, but I think the retellings just have a lot of potential for cool things. I don't know, I love Red Riding Hood retellings. And then this description is giving me some big Strange Grace vibes. Like, creepy woods, a prophecy that isn't quite what people think, or legend or deal that isn't quite what people think. I'm just so into it, and I'm really thinking that haunted, creepy forests are a thing for me. And so this is probably, of everything on the list, the one I'm most excited for. She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. I'm not sure if this falls into YA or adult, but it's listed as literary fantasy, and it's coming out in July of 2021. All the press is describing this as Mulan meets Song of Achilles, but I'm thinking that's kind of more marketing. It's like, ooh, woman dresses like a man, Mulan, ooh, gay story from history, Song of Achilles. So I don't know how much that's actually accurate. In a famine-stricken village on a dusty yellow plain, 2 children are given 2 fates, a boy greatness, a girl nothingness. In 1345, China lies under harsh Mongol rule. For the starving peasants of the Central Plains, greatness is something found only in stories. When the Zhou family's 8th-born son, Zhou Kongba, is given the fate of greatness, everyone is mystified as to how it will come to pass. The fate of nothingness received by the family's clever and capable second daughter, on the other hand, is only as expected. When a bandit attack orphans the 2 children, though, it is Zhou Kongba who succumbs to despair and dies. Desperate to escape her own fated death, the girl uses her brother's identity to enter a monastery as a young male novice. There, propelled by her burning desire to survive, Zhou learns she is capable of doing whatever it takes, no matter how callous, to stay hidden from her fate. After her sanctuary is destroyed for supporting the rebellion against Mongol rule, Zhou takes the chance to claim another future altogether, her brother's abandoned greatness. It sounds cool. It sounds really cool. I love that 12th night girls dressing up as guys in order to have power they can't have as women. I love it. I also really like the description there. Never gives the girl a name. It calls her Zhu, which is like her family name, but she never has her own name, which I think is really interesting. I'm just excited for this one. And then the last on this list is the only one outside of the first half of this year, so if you're interested, I might do another one sometime in the summer, so let me know in the comments below if you'd like an updated version of this when summer rolls around. But the last one on here, The Hopeless and the Romantic by Meryl Wilsner, which I believe is coming out in the UK in September of 2021. April Lawson doesn't believe in love. Why should she when every man she's dated has disappointed her? If only her mom would get the memo. April would rather focus on landing an upcoming promotion at work than a man. So when her brother offers her a deal, he'll get their mom off her back if she'll co-host a dating podcast with his best friend Violet. She reluctantly accepts. Violet Williams is in love with love. She's everything April usually hates, peppy, optimistic, and somehow impossible to even dislike. The odd couple makes surprisingly charismatic co-hosts of The Hopeless and the Romantic. Each woman goes on one date a week, April with a man, Violet with a woman, and they discuss them on the podcast. As the show goes on, April never quite connects with her dates, and soon the only thing getting her through them is the chance to rehash with Violet. I think this is a queer rom-com. The setup there is very classic rom-com, sunshine, doom and gloom. I believe in true love, I'm just waiting for it to hit me. I don't believe in love, I've been burned too many times. That's total rom-com setup, and I'm here for a rom-com, queer rom-com. But I'm gonna hold out on this one actually until some of the reviews roll in to find out if it's actually queer or not, because if it turns out this is some weird straight romance BS, I'm not here for it. Anyway, that's all of the books I have that I'm kind of looking forward to in 2021. Again, probably won't actually get to them in 2021, but we shall see. Never say never and all that. Did I just quote Justin Bieber? Anywho, and that's it for me. Okay, bye.